Howdy, folks. It's Doodly Squatch here, coming at you with a fun doodle. Uh, Came from a doodle prompt from a fun Instagram that I follow, but we'll talk about that once we get into it. So, here we go. Uh, Upper left, we've got a reference photo. The image is from a guy called David Diaz Ilustrador. So illustrator, but with the Spanish flair. But the Draw This in Your Style challenge came specifically from a Instagram account called DrawMeARobot. It's run by this cool fellow. His name's Eric or Arik. I don't know. It's with an A, so Arik, I think. I'm a bad person. I should know this. But I've been doing these challenges and following these guys for, it feels like, at least 6 years. I can't remember how long it's been, but Draw Me a Robot has been a great influence on my doodling, and just gotten me in touch with a lot of really fun artists. And every month they come out with this prompt. It's presented by another artist they found. I've presented one before last year, and then people send them in. They show them off, and regardless of skill level or just how well these things turn out, they share everything. They share everyone's entry. So you can be a kid doing scribbles. They got people building little models. There's a gal that does really sweet like paper art of the prompts. And and then they have the community vote on it, and there's usually a prize or something like that. But honestly, I just really enjoy just diving into these challenges and finding a way to sort of give it my own spin. And it's amusing because I've never thought I was super good at drawing robots, or at least what my idea of robots were. Just lots of straight lines, very blocky things. And when when Eric first reached out to me, it was this Draw Me a Robots page was a rather small page, and I was sort of swimming in a sea of just grifters, wanting hey, you want to build your account and you want to buy bots so you can get a big so I was just very distrustful of any messages I got unwarranted on Instagram. So when he reached out and he's like, hey, I appreciate your art. You draw a lot of fun robots. What can you tell me about yourself? That sort of thing. And I feel like I didn't take it seriously. I'm just like, I'm colorblind and I like to draw robots, and I'm a dad of 4 and la-di-da. Just very, very dismissive on my part. I feel like a complete jerk now when I think about it. And no ask, no like, hey, you want to can you sling me some PayPal and I'll feature you on my page, that sort of thing. No, that was it. He posted my art, posted what I said, sang my praises, and that was it. And shortly thereafter, the Draw This in Your Style challenges started, and lo and behold, it really picked up. They got a lot of people that I follow that I consider just great artists participating. And so just to be in the same room, as it were, with these guys just felt great. And Eric and his buddy Tyler, they do a podcast together. It's called the TNA podcast. Ha 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 ha. And they have they've reached out to me to draw like covers for their episodes and various things. They've over the years they've reached out to me for lots of fun, really fun commissions. I always enjoy drawing for them. And I've got, they've done like some T-shirts and stickers and things, with my art on them, and that just feels cool for some schmuck that works in, retail and, doodles on the side. Recently, they did a deck of playing cards, and I got to do the Queen of Clubs card, and that was really fun. But being part of a community is just, especially an online community. I'm kind of a dinosaur, so that sort of thing never really felt real to me early on. And now, I count these people among my friends, and they've been there for me for birthdays, family tragedies, the birth of some of my children, things like that. And it's been great. It's been a just super stellar community. Again, just, DrawMeARobot. Check it out. It's on Instagram. They've got a website, DrawMeARobot.com. You can just browse through the artists, and it's just a really cool community. I love that it's just so open and welcoming to just all levels of all skill levels, and regardless of follower counts, tra-la-la, all that. It's just a way to get together and just make cool art, and I've always enjoyed it. It's something that you don't have to twist my arm to get me to participate in. And this particular one, anything, it's already something I like. I like spiders, I like robots, and something involving ink and old style like ink nibs. It's easy peasy. You'll get me into it no matter what. What else is there to say about DrawMeARobot? I don't. For me, like I said, robots seemed unreachable because I've never been very good at straight lines, parallel lines, even being able to. Because to me in my head, robots were like technical drawings, like something CAD would do, or like I think of like Gundam, just very beautiful but symmetrical. I don't that sort of thing. And it wasn't until I watched like Evangelion or like Gurren Lagann, other types of robots where the robots were almost felt organic. They had ins and outs, and their bodies weren't so rigid. I think the Eva units really spoke to me because they they're meaty. I know they're it's basically a giant body wearing armor, so that it's cheating in that way. But hey, whatever whatever floats my boat. But it's grown on me for sure, and there's a lot of fun sort of cheats. You'll notice the legs of this robot are similar but not exactly the same. Whereas if were I an engineer, I would obviously want all the legs to look the same so that they would work together in tandem and be balanced, tra-la-la. But that's the joy of art. I don't have to worry about gravity. I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. I'm just now realizing I kind of gave him a Winnie the Pooh color scheme with the orange and red. But hey, I like it. It works. And then any excuse to fiddle around with coloring and make things look chrome and metal, get a little sci-fi going. I don't know. Dead space, dead air. And then just hearkening over to social media in general. It's funny how quickly I became jaded and just distrustful of cold call messages, and in a sense I still am distrustful of a lot of them, but not to people who seem to have a genuine interest. I prefer to give those the benefit of the doubt. I don't know, the internet can make you a cynical person for sure, if you let it. And I'm pleased that it hasn't happened in the grand sense of things. Same thing with this YouTube experience. You know, the sort of slow ebb of subscribers and comments and, you know, that sort of thing, that, you know, just that it's kind of exciting to be in that growth period where, you know, you get new fans or you know, I'll mention I have a YouTube and people will be interested. You know, that's kind of fun. I just like sharing. And one of my coworkers told me, you know, who really enjoy these videos is, you know, your kids after you die, because you'll have a bunch of archived just, you know, BS of you talking, and they'll get to hear your voice. And I'm like, cool, you know, at least in that sense, I get to, you know, maintain immortality on the internet, for better or worse, who knows. But I'm happy to do it, and it's always fun to record these. You know, it's hard not to wax poetic or you know, become verbose in my descriptions of things. Here we are, victory lap. We're going to give him an outline. I can't tell if his outline is white or yellow, but that's the joy of being colorblind, folks. So it is what it is. But yeah, here we go, finishing her up. Good old DrawMeARobot for David Diaz Illustrator on Instagram. Come join the robot army. Hey, I'd love to see some more people over there and some more doodles. Come on in and join us. Hop in the pool. It's fine. There's the logo right there. DrawMeARobot. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see on here. Any stories you want to hear, questions, comments, concerns, raise your hand. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Good night.